Wooisms, baby. Check us out.
Alright, we back, man. We, sitting up here chilling on that hookah and on that drink.
Yep.
That drink.
Yep.
That peach.
That crown peach is back, bitches.
Man, it's something special, boy. Something special.
Do something to the song.
Man, and we we talking about this verses, man, because we had, Ross and Chains bless us with what we feel was a really good verses battle. But, beforehand, man, you had posed a question about, where did you find yourself?
Yes, sir.
And it's like, man, that's a pretty deep question. Because, we 34.
Yeah.
So, a lot's happened in 34 years.
Well, see, the reason why, like I said, I like to listen to all the podcasts that are out there, like the indie podcasts, so to say. We got Wooisms, Lenny and the crew got All Safety.
Yeah.
Razio and his brothers, they got Three Brothers No Sense.
Right.
So I like to listen to all like my friends' podcasts.
Right.
And so it tied in so perfectly with the versus battle. So I got this. I had this question or this topic brewing for a while.
Yeah.
By listening to Three Brothers No Sense, and it dawned on me listening to the versus battle, and then listening to 2 Chainz' interview he did on the Breakfast Club, how he was saying how he want people to give him his roses now.
Yeah.
Which I don't blame him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, show me my roses now while I'm here.
Right.
Versus when I pass.
Yeah.
And I don't, I'm not here to celebrate with you all. And I'm not gonna lie. The only Titty Boy song that I listened to was Duffer Bag Boy.
Yeah. That was it.
If I ain't do nothing, I'm a ball. I'm
right.
counting all day like the clock on the wall.
And that was still on the cusp of his transition into 2 Chainz.
And it never dawned on me, like, listening back to like old Luda stuff and DTP compilations, that he was a part of that.
Yeah.
But when he made that transition from Titty Boy to 2 Chainz,
man, there was a change.
It elevated him.
Yeah.
And I agree, like, when he became 2 Chainz.
Yeah.
True. I respect him for that.
Yeah.
So I went back and started listening to some of his music. I was like, man, 2 Chainz got some hits. Man. But it took him rebranding himself, finding himself, understanding who he is, and embracing the 2 Chainz.
Yeah.
Not so much the Titty Boy.
Right.
That made him who he is today. So you're right. So for my question, the question is, when did you realize that you are, I don't know if you have an alter ego, Sean and the Big Hess, or is it one? Because like, for people who know me, know there is a Kendrick.
Absolutely.
And my mom touched on that.
Yeah.
My mom knows Kendrick.
Yeah.
People that know me growing up know Kendrick. Gerald knew Kendrick before he knew Woo. He was there for the transition.
Yeah.
But a lot of that's how I know my friends. I know like my friends growing up, they really don't call me Woo. They call me Kendrick because that's what they know.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends in my later years know Woo. They don't know Kendrick.
Absolutely.
And I'm a dive into that when it gets to me. But so for you, Sean, because like I don't see a difference between Sean and Big Hess.
Nah, it's really not. It's not a difference, but there was a transition. So like, and you were there for the transition. So everybody goes through multiple transitions in life.
Right.
And so for me, the first one was high school. Definitely.
Did you hear that big ass gulp that I did?
Yeah, you did. You did. You must really like that drink, and you wanted to savor all of that. Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, you really savored that. Crown, we need an endorsement. Because this nigga just made love to that drink just a second ago. God damn, boy. Woo! Woo!
My bad, man.
God, all right. All right, let me sip to that. All right. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I'm sip, not go. Sip to that. But, in high school, man, just going, I was like, because growing up, like I was the kind of the shy kid.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, I grew up around more older guys. So
right.
I didn't really feel like I had that voice or was really sure of myself at all because I was just around older cats. But when I got in high school, a lot of them older cats, they were grown, gone, doing their own thing. So I was just amongst people that were more of my age. And so I started to find myself, and like, the Big Hess thing started to be birthed around that time. But Big Hess is just more of like me with the fellas, right? But like, I'm still the same guy with the fellas, with my folks for the most part.
Yeah, because I think we started calling you Big Heads like maybe it picked up during football.
Yeah. During football, it was like Big Hess. It was like, okay, like let's just roll with it. Like it felt like I had just lost my first name. Like it was just Hesley or Big Hess. That was the only thing that I was called in high school. But like also being influenced by like just my friends around me and gaining more confidence during that time, that allowed me to become more of who I was.
Right.
But then the second transition happened because I got married at 22. Still was trying to figure out who I was, but like when we had kids, like we had our first child at 25.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I truly transitioned into that, because at 25, first child, you got people that's trying to impart their wisdom, quote unquote, and they question everything you do, and they say you should walk like this, you should talk like that,
mm-hmm.
you should raise your kids like this, you should raise your kids like that. And finally, I just got to the point to where I just stopped caring about other people's opinions. Like, I don't care about how you feel like I'm raising my kids. I don't care about how you feel about this decision that I made or that decision that I made. Like, I'm me. Right. Whatever consequences come from it, I'm going to learn from that and just move forward. But, like, when I stopped really caring what people thought,
mm-hmm.
that's when I started to flourish as the person I am now. Because I really give a damn who says what about what I do. Yeah, straight up. Like, I just don't care. It is, like, it's my life, my family. I do what I want. If you have an issue with it, you just have an issue with it. That's on you. That's on your end.
Mm-hmm.
But I stopped worrying about the opinions of others and then the perception of it all and all that, because we get trapped in that. We're trying to portray a certain image,
right,
to certain people, especially family members. I've just gotten to like, look, man, this is me.
Mm-hmm.
I am who I am. Like it, cool. If you don't, that's also cool. I just don't care.
Yeah.
So like now, like, in my 30s, got a job that I'm, doing well at, have a family that I love and that loves me, I can really care less about anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, you can appreciate it if you want, but as long as the people that I care about the most appreciate it, that's all that matters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Jay, do you feel like it's a big difference from, because like, you always Gerald to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Since that first time we met, first grade.
On the breezeway.
On the breezeway. Going to Mr. Robinson class. You always been Gerald to me.
Yeah. Same thing, really. Yeah, I think I was just always Gerald, and then, high school, it more turned into goddamn my nigga Gerald. You know what I'm saying? So, that was kind of like one of the things. But I think going into college, being at Auburn, that's kind of when the J-Eazy thing came about. Dealing with, all the shenanigans that we got into up there. That's where J-Eazy came from.
So let me ask you this, man. Do people like refer to you as, oh, that's Gerald, that's Antonio and Chantrice's little brother?
I mean, well, I only get that, from they people, but for the most part, I say if you know me, you know me as Gerald. Like you know me, then it's like, okay, that's Gerald. But otherwise, I got folks, that call me Jay or, J-Eazy, that kind of thing. And that, like you said, come from later in life. Mm-hmm. People start knowing you as J-Eazy, but that's a whole nother level of, somebody than Gerald kind of is. So it kind of is like a difference in the two.
Okay.
But as far as changes too, though, man, once that kid come, that's when, it just really changed, and thinking about family and, your priorities kind of change up and all that kind of stuff. So I think, I was 28 when that happened. So kind of like, I think that's when I fully evolved into, Gerald, the family guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's definitely stages. Jay's is still in there, he the fun guy, but for the most part, like you said, Gerald, that's friends, family, that's how they gonna know me.
Right, and like that's the thing, like, more like when we take our fellows trips, that's more Hess. That's more of Hess then. It's just not a care in the world, not thinking about the responsibilities of back home for the most part during those few days. It's just like I'm hanging loose, having fun. Yeah. But like back here, it's just like, man, we got stuff we got to take care of. We have people we have to take care of. And so it's just more of, that's when you have to be that father, that husband, that provider, that protector. Like you have to do that at that time.
Yeah, man, because like I think back, like for you, and I'm gonna say Sean now, but for the most part, like when I'm always talking to you, it's always Hess. I don't too much throw the big in front of it, but it's always, hey Hess, what about this? What about this? Sometimes I'll be like, all right, Sean, what you think about this? But for the most part, like you Hess to me, but Gerald. Like I said, Gerald's always Gerald to me.
Yeah, but I would also say you have had a heavy influence on Hess. Especially during those high school years.
Oh, man.
Had a heavy influence on Hess.
Hey, man. And, man, we think it's 2020. We met in 2000. I mean, that's 20 years of friendship. Like, no breaks, no folds, no bends. Nope. It's always like from that first time when we had that first interaction, that semi-altercation. After that, we have been
all A's.
All in.
Yeah, all A's.
Down like a Cadillac with 4 flats.
Straight up.
Like I said, like I know Gerald as Gerald because I've been knowing him since first grade, back in what that was, 92? Something like that.
Raised by the 90s.
And then we found out we went to church together, so it just
that was crazy.
Made everything. Like, you go here too?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you praise the Lord in the same place I praise the Lord. Like, look at God. Look at God.
I told my mom, I said, Mama, you're in my class. Like, that's my classmate. And, we've been knowing each other from then.
Yeah.
I think, like with me, and I always tell people, like, it's I might be bipolar. I don't know. I may be bipolar because there is literally two sides of who is Kendrick Delance Wooten.
Yeah.
It's two sides.
Yeah.
And like I stated before we took the commercial break, there is Kendrick.
Yep.
For my friends that have known me since elementary school, and we went from Council to Phillips to LaFleur, on through where we at now in adulthood, they know me as Kendrick. Like, a lot of people would not call me Woo that have known me for that long.
Yeah.
Kendrick is more of the level head, the reasoning,
The mature guy.
the mature guy.
Yeah.
When we go back and I say, let me put my mature Woo hat on,
Yeah.
I'm talking about Kendrick is coming to the forefront.
Yeah. Yeah.
My mother knows Kendrick.
Yeah, she does.
My mother speaks heavily,
Very highly
of Kendrick.
Kendrick's an upstanding citizen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kendrick 2020.
Yeah.
I think it didn't done like when the first person that called me Woo, or it was Woo and then Woo, was Coach Turnessy, and that was maybe 7th grade.
The golden arm.
The golden arm. Coach, for people who went to Phillips, know who Coach Turnessy is. Coach Turnessy swear before the Lord himself that he has the best arm out of any quarterback that was in the NFL. When you play football at PE, he wanted to be the all-time quarterback. That's it. Coach Turnessy deemed me with Woo. And I started taking that on in middle school. But Woo did not take precedence until high school.
Yeah, because I definitely met Woo first. It was a minute before I met Kendrick.
Woo, on the other hand, is that person that doesn't take no shit, doesn't care what flies off the dome.
The van.
Oh, the legendary. You can't even say the van. You have to say the legendary.
We will not discuss the van today. Yes, people, in high school, I did drive a van.
The legendary van.
The van should have been. I think the van made the senior tape.
Yep, it did. It did.
The van was known.
Yeah.
But Woo did not take precedence until high school. And I wouldn't even say it elevated. It just
It just happened.
it happened.
When Woo came out on 10.
Yes. And people that know Woo will tell you, yeah, I know Woo. Woo is that's my boy. That's my dog.
Yeah.
Woo is ride or die. Woo gonna have your back. Woo gonna say what he wanna say. Woo gonna step in. Woo is not gonna let anything happen to his people.
Yeah.
Woo don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you how it is. I'm not gonna shoot the shit. I'm not gonna sugarcoat nothing.
Yeah.
And I think people respect both Kendrick and they respect Woo.
Yeah.
My friends, they already know. When they come to me and they ask me something, I'm going to tell her how it is. I don't have a filter.
As my granddaddy would say, how a T.I. is. That's what my granddad was. How a T.I. is. I don't know where that came from, but he was like, I'm going to tell you how a T.I. is. Oh, all right. Here we go.
T.I. is.
Yeah, how a T.I. is. Yeah, how a T.I. is.
And man, like, for the most part, man, like, for me, it's not really a battle between the two, but I feel like with Kendrick, you get the sensitive side.
Mm-hmm.
You get the compassion. You get the understanding. But Woo, you get the understanding as well.
It's a different type.
Kendrick, he tries to understand more. He tries to be the voice of reasoning. Woo is just gonna tell you how it is.
So let me ask you this: if you had to do it on this percentage, how often are you Woo versus Kendrick?
I think I'm Woo 80% of the time.
All right, I would agree with that.
I'm Woo 80% of the time.
Yeah.
I'm Kendrick mostly around family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kids, wife, mom, siblings, uncles, cousins that I care about.
Yeah.
Kendrick.
Yeah.
Then. When I talk business, I'm Kendrick then.
Yeah.
With a taste of Woo.
Depending on what the business is.
Yes.
Depending on what the business is.
Depending on what the business is. I've been told that Woo has no tact. I was like, what the fuck you mean I ain't got no tact? I ain't going back and look up. What the fuck is tact? I show compassion. Oh, that's Kendrick that shows compassion.
Yeah, that's Kendrick.
You know, Woo does not really show too much compassion.
Nah.
But, like I said, man, I think a lot of people that know Woo know that I'm all in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and you said, you know, I know, like, Woo, I got a good friend in Woo because Woo is going to tell her how it is, and Woo has my back.
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, that understanding the two is helped me next topic of understanding who you are and when it's good and when it's bad.
Yeah.
Because with me, and like I said, man, like I feel like for me, I try not to sugarcoat nothing. I try to like tell it like straight how it is, because I feel like if you tell somebody the straight, honest truth, they might be mad, they might be butthurt, they might be like, man, fuck you.
Yeah.
But then when they think about it, they'll go back and be like, damn, you know what? Woo said some real shit, and I gotta respect that.
Yeah. Like, people get offended, and I always tell people, like, offense is a choice. Like, taking offense is a choice. You pick and choose what you're offended by.
Right.
And especially when you're delivering a message to somebody and it's for their good, you're just a messenger.
Mm-hmm.
It's their responsibility to take it. Now, they can take it as, you know, oh man, you know, he being too harsh or, you know, whatever. But if it's the intent, the one thing I can always say about you is like the intent is always be like, look, I just want you to be the best you can be.
Right.
If it hurts your feelings, just hurt your feelings. But don't get offended by it, because like he's really just trying to tell you this simply so you can be better. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like my siblings, I'm really hard on them for the most part. And so they probably would say that like I'm probably like I can be a dick at times.
Yeah. I get that all the time.
Yeah. It's like you're a dick. It's like, but it's fine. Like I'm solely that. Like I used to tell my team when I was managing people, but look, man, you know, you might think I'm a dick, but like I'm a dick with a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
It's simply to make sure that like I have to be a dick for that moment to make sure that you're the best person you can be. Outside of because if I didn't care, I wouldn't even be that. I'd just be like, all right, well, you know, you continue to do what you're doing, be lackluster, be piss poor, whatever. They got nothing to do with me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But, you know, people they don't know how to receive the harsh truth, you know, at times. And it's just like, man, just know that it's coming from a good place and just accept that. Digest it and then take the good from it.
Yeah, man, I feel like with me, man, a lot of people, they respect where I come from, and I mean, like I say, man, you and Gerald, he knows me since first grade. Man, Gerald know how I am. He already know, like, Woo gonna say it. Here.
Yeah.
Woo gonna speak it. And I mean, like I said, even when me and you had met, and you met Woo at that time.
Yeah.
And shit, we bumped heads.
Yeah.
We literally bumped heads. It got to a point where, like, and it was because I
was being territorial.
Not really territorial, but so I think it's safe to talk about this.
Yeah.
When we got to high school and Sean was hanging around some of, my female friends that I've been knowing since elementary school. And I kind of took on that role as big brother. Because, I mean, we all heard the stories about what happens, when you transition from middle to high school. So, I'm like, asking my home, like, who is this nigga? Oh, he's cool. Nah, fuck that.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to let y'all know that he was being a hater. That's exactly what he was being. He was being a hater. Because I was getting some attention from his female friends.
Those were more like my sisters, man.
But your sisters were giving me a lot of attention at the time that you didn't necessarily find, you weren't too fond of. From this cat that you did not know whatsoever.
So I'm like, man, who the fuck is this dude? And I think that that's like how all friendships spawned in high school. Like, who in the fuck is this? Like, for example, remember, I think it was 10th grade year, and you was like, man, my homeboy Boo Man, he coming from Blunt over here, and he gonna be on the football team. And you was talking high level, man. I was like, man, who the fuck is a Boo Man? What is a Boo Man? Like, what type of name is that? And walking through the hallway, we was leaving from somewhere. I was like, man, fuck this nigga Boo Man. Pop. And it just happened. I walked right into him. I was like, man, who is you? I'm Boo Man. I'm like, oh, and for y'all that don't know, man, Boo Man is like 6'7". He was like a clean 280.
Yeah, about 280 then.
I'm like, man, I'm looking at him up and down like, who the fuck is you? I'm Boo Man. Oh, what's up, man? Like, I ain't a fool, man. So I mean that's like one of our stories, and Boo Man is one of our closest homeboys to this day as well. But I just feel like it's important, man, to know who you are and to know where you came from and where you're going.
Yeah.
Like when I'm with my family and my kids, like I try to paint the best picture. I'm running for Father of the Year every year.
Yeah.
Even if my kids get tired of seeing me or I'm hard on them or whatever the case may be, I'm gonna do that.
Right.
With my friends, just depends on the setting that we're in.
Yeah, definitely.
Whatever setting we're in, I'm going to pose. I don't know. I try not to deviate so much.
But the thing is too, like, people try to make it seem like, oh, I'm the same all the time. It's like, there's no way you're the same all the time. Like, in order for us to function, we have to be flexible in who we are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
what up, Tim?
I'm pretty sure my wife would say that. Like, she says all the time, like, she's like, you're not the same around me as you are with your homeboys.
Oh, I get that all the time myself.
Technically, I'm not supposed to be.
Exactly.
That's my baby. I'm supposed to be lovey-dovey.
Right.
And, softer and, that type of stuff. But then, like, with y'all, like, I could care less what y'all think about, like, soft. There ain't no room to be soft.
You can't be.
Yeah, around y'all, because you can get destroyed.
Oh, man, we'll pick your ass apart.
Right, exactly. So it's just like, you know, you got to be versatile in who you are, but still, like, one thing that I've always tried to be is just, regardless of like who I am with certain people, I try to be genuine. Mm-hmm. You know, just always try to be genuine. Like, I care and I show you a certain side depending on who you are, but like regardless, like you feel like I am a genuine person.
Yeah, man, and I think, and I will, you know what I'm saying, like agree. From the time we met freshman year in August of 2000 up until August of 2020, Sean, you have not changed. I mean, let me say, that sounds horrible because you have to change.
You mature, but yeah.
As far as like a friendship goes, you have always been that friend, that brother to me. Yeah. Like with Gerald. Gerald has always been that brother to me. And I can name like multiple, like Brandon. Yeah. Fred. Larry. Yeah. Lenny. Yeah. Como. Ross. Yeah. Jimmy. Medium Larry now.
Medium Larry.
You know what I'm saying?
No, that would be a whole nother podcast. Yeah. Like you talking about somebody that's transitioned?
Oh man, he transitioned like body.
Yeah. He has like grown so much. And you know, in the last few years, man, it's insane. And like I said,
man, like change is important. Because if you are in the same place where you were 5 years ago, yeah. Say if you were the same person in 2015 and it's 2020, right, and you have not changed to better yourself, why are you breathing the same air as me?
Right, because I mean, like, change is required. Mm-hmm. It's necessary, man. Like,
yes.
In order to survive, you have to change. Like, you get left behind. Like, I'll leave, like this. There we go. Second half choke.
Sean trying to kill me.
Second half choke.
He's not on my life insurance.
Yeah. Don't die here. Until you get out. Until you get out the subdivision, don't die here. But you know, like it's like necessary. Like I'll take for instance, like BlackBerry, right? So like BlackBerry at one time was like the smartphone before smartphones were a big thing, and then other smartphones like iPhones started coming out.
I hate fucking BlackBerry.
Yeah, I hate them. I was not. It was so complicated, you know. But then when iPhone came out and Androids started popping up, rather than adapting, they said, "Well, we were on top for this long. Right? Why should we change?" And what eventually happens, they end up getting left in the dust by everybody else, and now they're pretty much non-existent. You know, so it's like you have to change in order to keep up with the times, but you can change and still be who you are. You know, like you don't have to like just completely change it, like reinvent yourself. Right. You know, but you gotta adapt something, and I think that's what happened with 2 Chainz. Like he recognized, all right, I gotta rebrand myself in order to get where I am. He improved himself, but he was still, for the most part, the same guy.
Well, you got to think, man, like, and I think one of his most underrated albums was the collaborative album he did with Wayne, Collie Grove.
Yeah, that was good.
And I believe it was the intro when he spoke about him and Wayne meeting. Yeah. And Wayne, I guess, talked him out of getting out of that contract with Luda and DTP. Yeah. Because, like we was talking in pre-production, like, yeah, I heard of 2 Chainz, well, I heard of Titty Boy on some of those tracks. Right. And his biggest track as Titty Boy was Duffel Bag Boy. Right. And who was on that? Featured on that? Wayne.
Yeah. Fire.
Wayne.
Yeah.
If I don't do nothing, I'm about. Yep. I'm counting all day like the clock on the wall. Now go and get your money, little duffel bad boy. I mean, yeah, he rebranded himself and he became Titty 2 Chainz. Yeah. He said that for a while, then shit just 2 Chainz.
2 Chainz.
And I mean, shit, that worked for him.
Yeah.
You know? So another question that I got for you, can you speak on a good instance of being who you are and a bad instance of being who you are?
Like, I have like an open door policy for
Right.
the most part. Like, if you ask it, like, I answer it. You know, if you want to know something, I'll let you know.
And that is what managers do. That is what leaders do. They have open door policies.
Right. It's just like, because, you know, and me and my sister were talking earlier today about this, and it's like, you have to let people behind the curtain to an extent. It's to an extent. You got to let them in to make them realize that you are human.
Right.
You know, but at the same time, you have to remain guarded. And you can't let everybody access the same levels.
Right.
So I think for me, sometimes I can be too inviting in, which then allows people to gain access that sometimes they shouldn't gain.
Right.
You know, so, you know, it's like, I let you in so we can find common ground, we can build that bond. But instead of like stopping it right there, sometimes I still let you come in a little further, which has kind of bit me in the past.
Right.
So,
Jay, what about you, bro? Like, you got it. What's your good and bad vices of being who you are?
I mean, you know, I think
Yeah, I just threw you on the spot.
yeah, for sometimes, man, you know, like you said, that honesty piece, man. Some people don't be ready for that honesty. And I think I even at home sometimes, even, you know, with the missus, you know, like they'll ask you a question sometimes, and you know, and I think at times, you know, me just kind of giving that straightforward, honest response sometimes might not be the best thing sometimes, but a lot of times you just can't help it. And it's like, you know, this is just what it is. And some people might take that as being mean.
Right.
But, you know, us, we understand it just as it's just being straightforward. And I want you to be the best you. So I'm going to say whatever. And so, you know, sometimes I think that catch people off guard, just that honesty piece.
yeah.
So, you know, I think that kind of at times can be when it kind of backfire on me. But then at the same time, it's like, hey man, I told you what it was.
Right.
So, you know, that's just what it is.
I think, man, and I don't know. Well, I'm gonna talk about this one instance with Gerald, man.
Uh-oh.
Gerald has always been the laid back, quiet one out of our group. Now, for my wedding, I had my 4 line brothers, and I had my 4 friends that I grew up in the church with.
Yeah.
Right. So there was this one time. It might have been when we was in middle school that my birthday came around. I had a sleepover at the crib, like that weekend.
That's yearly, boy. Every year.
But this one year, I think my mom had all the fellas over, and we went to the skating ring. We probably went to the movies, and this one night, man, Bo he was fucking with Gerald. Gerald was like, I ain't taking this shit no more. They got the fighting in the van.
Oh.
Gerald was throwing them hands. Mama was like, y'all stop. I'm back there laughing like, no, Mama, let it go. Gerald he tagged Bo, boy. And I was like, and Gerald, the same height he is now.
Oh, man.
4 foot nothing.
He said, I'm going for it.
And he went for the gusto, boy. And then I knew, I was like, hey, You can't fuck with small people, man. Man,
that happened in high school with somebody too. That was crazy too. 9th grade, same type situation, but that's a whole nother podcast.
He was like, I'm proving myself today.
Exactly, man.
Don't let the smooth taste fool you, boy.
But I think with me, man, like the good with being me, like I said earlier, like with Kendrick or Woo. Kendrick, I'm gonna listen to you. Kind of like you, Shane. I'm gonna listen to you. I'm gonna try to reason with you. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna be that friend, that big brother. Woo, on the other hand, I'm gonna tell you how it is. It might hurt your feelings. Like, I think one instance, one of my good homegirls, she was asking me something about a guy, and I was just like, man, he probably won't like your ass. I know him and I know you, and that shit ain't gonna work. And she was just like, well, why you say that? I'm like, man, look, I know you, and I know him, and
just ain't gonna make
it. Ain't gonna make it.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? Shit didn't work out. We stopped talking for a minute, and then after the shit fell apart, she was just like, well, yeah, well, you was right. Well, goddamn it, I knew I was right. You should fucking listen to me. And don't let me know that I'm right. I'm gonna let you know that, hey, I was fucking right. You should have fucking listened to me. I think that is the bad part of it. When I've got into fist fights of being Woo.
Yeah.
On multiple times.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think we may have spoken on that in previous episodes.
I have witnessed
and you have witnessed a few.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that could be a good but very bad. Because like I said, I was told by one of my chapter brothers that I lack tact. And I'm just like, well, fuck it. I'm going to tell her how it is. And sometimes that shit bit me in the ass by telling it how it is.
Yeah.
Because, one time, like, I got in, during the military, I told a supervisor, a superior, how it was.
Right.
And it didn't end well for me because I got a bad OER. An OER is an officer evaluation report.
Yeah.
Got a bad one for that quarter because I told him how it was.
Yeah.
But I didn't give a fuck. But after that, he did respect me for it, but he still gave my ass that bad evaluation. Right? So, I say all that to say, people, it is good to understand and to know who you are. Because knowing who you are leaves no doubt in other people's minds who you are.
Right.
They will respect you for who you are. Whether the good, the bad, the ugly, if you are consistent and you are genuine with who you are, the first step is knowing who you are. Because how can somebody else respect who you are if you don't know who you are?
Exactly. It's like, how can they expect the person that you're portraying if you don't even know that that's the real you?
Right. And I felt everything 2 Chainz was saying in that Breakfast Club interview, and he was coming off hostile and angry, and he even said at one point, I'm not directing my comments to y'all because y'all know me. He said, Angela, Charlamagne, Envy, y'all know me. I'm not talking to y'all. It's for the people that don't know me.
Right.
And I feel like I battled that before. Like people just don't, for people that don't know Woo, won't understand Woo and won't know where Woo's coming from.
But I feel like it's a big misconception too, like at times. Mm-hmm. Because people won't, it's not necessarily that you're not giving them who you are. They just only want to see a certain part. Mm-hmm. So for them, they're like, well, Sean is this person. It's like, well, actually, I'm not. Well, you did this. I know, but that's not who I am. you know, you just saw that certain part,
right,
and you ran with it. That ain't got nothing to do with me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's just how you perceive me.
Yeah.
I can't worry about how you perceive me. That's your fault.
And one thing that I have always been told, perception is a motherfucker. Perception, it doesn't matter what you think.
Yep.
It's how the person that is speaking to you views you and perceives you.
Right. Right. So
you,
it's like
you could very well mean the utmost respect.
Yep.
You could very well mean everything positive. And I battle that, and I understand that.
Yeah.
The Taylor tell me all the time, like, I don't show emotion.
Because I get that all the time.
Majority of the time, like me personally, I feel that emotion is a sign of weakness.
Mm-hmm.
And when somebody knows that and they see that, they could tap into that and they could use that against you.
Right.
I could be just a little shallow on that, but that's just how I feel about it.
But that's just, it's certain levels to it. Like, everybody don't reach the same level with you. So it's like, they're like, well, you don't show any emotion, which, I mean, I'm pretty nonchalant, so, oh well. But, like, for the people that do see it, like, those are the people that have access to it. Don't get mad because you don't have access to that.
Right.
You know, like, my wife, she sees that more than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, y'all see it for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like, everybody don't deserve that type of access.
Exactly, man. Shit, bro. You got a little heavy then.
Yeah, just a tad.
Got a little deep.
Yep.
Let the people know a little bit more about us, who we are as individuals. It's not a front. It's not a show. You know, what you see with me is what you see is what you get.
Yep.
Point blank, period.
Yep. Make sure that period's with you.
Period.
Not with a T.
Not with a T.
As somebody that is from our hometown decided to embarrass us on the podcast and say period.
God damn it, Como, you embarrassed
God
us.
damn.
I guess it was too much city girls. She was
You know
like,
what?
period, poo.
No, every week, like, I try to just not go in on Courtney. I really try not.
It's too easy.
And then he does something. I'm like, you know what? You did that. You forced our hand saying period on the podcast.
And for y'all that don't know what we're talking about, please go and listen to the Off Safety Podcast, the last episode.
This is within the first 10 minutes.
Courtney got into it. Well, his name is Courtney.
Yeah.
But it's with a K, not a C.
Yeah.
I guess that's a little bit masculine.
I bet you when he said period, he hit his hand like,
He was like, period.
God damn.
And then he got like,
Period. Only problem is he ain't got no hair to sway with.
he can't whip his hair back and forth because he ain't got no hair.
He ain't got none.
So he just rubs his bald head backwards